No embassy visits, no exhausting interviews, no visa fees. Just a quick online application, and you are in. That's the new reality for travelers from 10 select Asian countries. In 2025, Canada quietly rewrote the rules, expanding its visa-exempt list to include nations previously locked out of such privileges. But don't be fooled. This isn't about convenience. It's about geopolitics, data, and trust. However, if you are from these countries, you can get visa-free access and entry into Canada. You will just pack your suitcases, buy a ticket, and take the flight. Yet, why only 10 countries? Why now? And what does it reveal about who Canada really trusts and who it doesn't? In this video, let's know about it. Number 10. Japan. In 2025, Japan continues to stand as the undisputed leader of global mobility. While most countries still grapple with visa bureaucracy, Japanese citizens enjoy what can only be described as diplomatic autopilot. They simply apply for an ETA online and walk through Canadian borders with minimal friction. But this privilege isn't rooted in politics or temporary treaties. It's the result of a decades-long pattern of flawless international behavior that no immigration officer can ignore. Canada doesn't just trust Japan. It relies on Japanese travel behavior as a benchmark. Overstays are practically non-existent. Immigration violations are so rare that they don't even warrant policy concern. When Japanese travelers enter Canada, they do exactly what they said they would do: visit, explore, contribute, and return. That consistency has allowed Japan to build a clean, unquestionable reputation over time. However, it goes even deeper. Japan's travel documentation system is one of the most advanced in the world. Biometric passports, robust national ID protocols, and fully integrated customs systems have made Japanese travelers not only easy to process, but incredibly difficult to exploit. Immigration systems favor predictability, and Japan offers exactly that. In short, Japan has not just earned Canada's trust, it has institutionalized it. This makes Japan more than just a country with visa-free status. It's the template other nations look to when trying to improve their own passport power. Unless the world turns upside down, Japan's place on Canada's ETA list is not only secure, it's symbolic of what border officials hope every traveler could be. Number 9. South Korea. South Korea's relationship with Canada has matured into one of quiet strength. In 2025, that strength is reflected at the border, where South Korean travelers enjoy visa-free air access to Canada through the ETA system. This wasn't an overnight decision. It's the product of years of clean immigration history, consistent traveler behavior, and shared economic and educational values. Canada views South Korean citizens not as potential risks, but as reliable guests. There's very little to flag in their travel behavior. Violations are minimal, compliance is high, and when it comes to returning after their authorized stay, South Koreans have demonstrated unmatched reliability. That kind of performance doesn't happen by accident. It's engineered through good governance, rigorous internal systems, and a culture of accountability. This is a country that has grown from post-war hardship to becoming one of Asia's most stable democracies and technologically advanced economies. And that transformation shows in the way its citizens move through the world. In Canada, South Koreans aren't just seen as tourists or students. They are viewed as members of a broader partnership built on mutual respect. Thousands study in Canada every year. Many more visit for business or culture. Very few abuse that access. South Korea has, over time, become one of Canada's most trusted travel sources. And in the current global environment, where trust is currency, few countries have built it as patiently and thoroughly as Seoul has. Number 8. Singapore. Singapore may be small on the map, but in the world of global mobility, it punches far above its weight. In 2025, Singapore remains among the very few countries whose citizens can enter Canada without a visa, requiring only an ETA. But this access isn't casual. It is earned, day after day, flight after flight, by the sheer consistency and discipline of Singapore's travelers and institutions. Canada's confidence in Singapore stems not only from its shared economic ties, but from a long-standing pattern of travel integrity. Singaporeans rarely overstay, rarely seek asylum in Canada, and rarely violate immigration norms. That reputation has been reinforced by one of the most secure and advanced travel documentation systems in the world. From biometric passports to digital exit tracking, Singapore's immigration system is so tight, so streamlined, that many Western nations have modeled parts of their own systems on it. But beyond technology and policy, it's human behavior that matters. Singaporeans tend to travel with a purpose, respect local laws, and return home. That might sound simple, but in the eyes of immigration officials, it's golden. Canada knows it can expect orderly, respectful travel from Singaporeans, not just because of numbers, but because of experience. This kind of trust isn't handed out. It is tested year after year, and Singapore continues to pass that test without hesitation. In a world where border tensions are rising and visa policies are tightening, Singapore is a rare case, a country that remains universally welcomed. Canada's policy towards Singapore isn't just an immigration convenience. It's a public endorsement of a nation whose passport has become synonymous with credibility. Number 7. Israel. In a world where geopolitics often dictates policy, Israel's inclusion in Canada's visa-free ETA system proves one critical point. Data speaks louder than controversy. Despite being one of the most politically scrutinized nations on the planet, Israeli citizens continue to enjoy smooth entry into Canada. No visa required, just a simple online authorization. To some, this might appear contradictory. With international debates swirling around Israel's policies, many would expect Canadian immigration to take a cautious stance. Yet Canada does the opposite. It separates government actions from civilian behavior, and in the case of Israeli travelers, the behavior is hard to argue with. Israeli citizens show a remarkably clean travel history in Canada. Their rate of visa overstays is among the lowest in the region. They don't flood the asylum system. They don't disappear into illegal labor markets. They come, they visit, and they return. That predictability has allowed Canadian border authorities to build a foundation of trust, one rooted not in headlines or foreign policy, but in immigration statistics and consistent traveler conduct. The deeper layer is the historical relationship between Canada and Israel, particularly in areas of intelligence sharing, technology, and security cooperation. While this doesn't guarantee visa exemption on its own, it certainly builds a context in which Canada feels confident granting streamlined entry. Israel's integration into Canada's travel-friendly tier is not an exception made for politics. It's a reward for a compliance pattern too strong to ignore. Israel is a case study in how mobility policies are increasingly shaped by traveler data rather than diplomatic noise. While political debates may continue in other arenas, Canada has made its stance clear at the border. Responsible, law-abiding travelers will always be welcome, regardless of where they come from. Number 6. Taiwan. Taiwan's position on the global map may be ambiguous, but its position in Canada's visa system is crystal clear. In 2025, Taiwan remains on Canada's visa-exempt list, allowing its citizens to enter with nothing more than an ETA. What makes this remarkable is that Canada, like many countries, does not officially recognize Taiwan as a sovereign state, and yet it has granted Taiwanese citizens a level of mobility that even fully recognized nations are still fighting for. Why? Because Taiwan delivers what border officials care about most: predictability, security, and low risk. Taiwanese travelers are quiet operators in the world of global movement. They don't overstay. They don't overburden the refugee system. They don't break visa terms. Their travel patterns are defined by precision and compliance, not uncertainty or manipulation. Canadian immigration systems, which increasingly rely on digital risk profiling, have long identified Taiwanese travelers as one of the least likely groups to trigger immigration alerts. Beyond that, Taiwan has proven itself a reliable partner in areas that matter deeply to Canadian border authorities, like digital security, fraud prevention, and document integrity. Taiwan's passports are among the most advanced in Asia, embedded with modern biometric protections, and consistently ranked in the top third globally for mobility. There's also an unspoken message in Canada's policy. Political recognition is no longer the only measure of international trust. In choosing to exempt Taiwanese travelers from the full visa process, Canada is sending a clear signal that travel privileges are earned by behavior, not just diplomatic standing. It's a quiet decision, but a profound one. Taiwan, often left in the margins of global diplomacy, has carved out a space in global mobility by being exceptionally trustworthy. And in 2025, Canada is doubling down on that recognition. Before we continue further, tell us, are you enjoying the video? If yes, please like and share the video, and subscribe to our channel to watch more videos on the latest news stories on geopolitics, economics, and current affairs, impacting your lives. Number 5. Hong Kong. At first glance, Hong Kong's presence on Canada's ETA list might seem expected. But look closer, and the picture is more complex because not all Hong Kongers qualify, and the distinction Canada draws is deliberate. As of 2025, only holders of the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region passport are eligible for visa-free entry to Canada via ETA. That excludes those with other types of documentation, such as the British National Passport or Chinese travel documents. Why the fine print? Because Canada is not just looking at the territory. It's examining the passport behavior tied to it. HKSR passport holders have, for years, demonstrated exceptional compliance with Canadian immigration laws. They rarely overstay. They do not abuse asylum processes. They frequently enter Canada for legitimate reasons like business, education, tourism, and return home without issue. Their immigration profile is one of order and reliability. This level of trust didn't appear in a vacuum. Canada and Hong Kong have long-standing ties, particularly through education and investment. Tens of thousands of Hong Kong students have studied in Canadian universities, often becoming high-skilled contributors to both societies. Business travelers from Hong Kong continue to play a key role in bilateral trade. And through it all, HKSR passport holders have earned a statistical reputation for playing by the rules. Even as political shifts reshape Hong Kong's relationship with China and the world, Canada's border policy is holding a sharp line. Instead of reacting to politics, it is reacting to verified traveler behavior. It is saying, in effect, we'll trust those who have earned it, regardless of who governs them. Number 4. United Arab Emirates. In the past, the UAE's influence on global mobility was often associated with wealth, lavish lifestyles, first-class lounges, and golden passports. But in 2025, its visa-free access to Canada reflects something far more powerful than oil money: systematic trust, engineered through digital precision and geopolitical stability. UAE citizens now enter Canada through the ETA system. No embassies, no interviews, just a quick digital clearance. But behind that smooth entry lies a decade of transformation that has reshaped the Emirates' global image. The UAE has emerged as a regional pioneer in border security and traveler verification, implementing one of the most advanced biometric and digital identity infrastructures in the world. Their immigration systems use real-time predictive risk modeling to screen outbound travelers, often with more rigor than many Western counterparts. Fingerprint databases, iris scans, and facial recognition at exit gates have turned Dubai and Abu Dhabi into global case studies in travel safety. Canada sees this clearly. And what it sees is a low-risk, high-reliability traveler profile. Emirati citizens do not flood Canadian asylum systems. They do not overstay. They come, conduct business, study, invest, and return. What used to be a country judged by its oil reserves is now measured by its administrative maturity and border transparency. More importantly, the diplomatic relationship between Canada and the UAE has matured in parallel. The two countries now share bilateral investment frameworks, student exchange pipelines, and growing cooperation in tech, AI, and climate innovation. That evolution, combined with the UAE's internal reforms and strict travel standards, has moved the Emirates into Canada's inner circle of trusted mobility partners. Today, the UAE passport opens doors not just to luxury, but to legal respectability. And in Canada's immigration playbook, that counts for everything. Number 3. Philippines. The Philippines may not top passport rankings, but in Canada, it holds something arguably more valuable: long-standing trust rooted in community, contribution, and credibility. As of 2025, Filipino citizens can travel to Canada visa-free under a conditional arrangement. If they have held a Canadian visa in the last 10 years or currently possess a valid U.S. visa, they qualify for the ETA system. This isn't a blanket exemption. It's a calibrated reward for decades of proven behavior. Filipinos have long been part of Canada's social fabric. With more than 900,000 Filipinos living in Canada, the community plays a crucial role in essential sectors, particularly healthcare, caregiving, education, and skilled trades. And what stands out even more is the legal reliability of Filipino travelers. Their overstay rate remains low, asylum fraud is rare, and most return home or adjust status through proper legal channels. Canada has taken note of this history, and this visa policy is its way of saying thank you. It's also a bet on the future. As the Philippines continues to develop, with a growing middle class and rising global mobility, Canada is positioning itself as a destination of choice for Filipinos who travel for the right reasons. Number 2. Thailand. Thailand has long been a dream destination for Canadians, a land of hospitality, affordability, and postcard-worthy beauty. But in 2025, Canada flipped the script and extended that welcome back. Thai citizens can now visit Canada visa-free through the ETA system, a shift that reflects more than just goodwill between two tourist-loving nations. It reflects a change in how Thailand is viewed globally, not just as a host, but as a reliable guest. This change didn't happen overnight. Thailand has made noticeable progress in reducing visa abuse, increasing travel return compliance, and strengthening its internal identity systems. Thai travelers are now widely seen as respectful, timely, and low risk. They visit for education, family, or leisure, and almost always return. What made the difference was behavior. Thailand may not have the strongest passport, but it has demonstrated to countries like Canada that mobility maturity isn't about image. It's about conduct. Moreover, bilateral relations between the two nations are deepening. Thailand has been strengthening its role as a regional hub for business and education, and Canadian investments, particularly in infrastructure and technology, are growing in the region. The expanding number of Thai students in Canadian universities has also helped build stronger institutional trust between immigration authorities. This visa exemption is a signal. Thailand is no longer just Southeast Asia's tourism hub. It's now one of Canada's trusted travel partners. Number 1. India. Back in 2023, Ottawa introduced a limited entry pathway that eased the process for select Indian travelers. Suppose an Indian citizen has held a Canadian visa within the past 10 years, or currently holds a valid U.S. non-immigrant visa. In that case, they may apply for an electronic travel authorization instead of going through the full visa process. It's a selective trust mechanism, targeted at experienced, previously vetted travelers. It reflects Canada's desire to streamline low-risk travel, while still managing migration concerns from high-volume countries. Is your country on the list? If yes, would you like to travel to Canada just by buying a ticket, without waiting in lines for visa applications? In the comment section below, share your thoughts on which other countries you would like to offer visa-free entry to your country. Do you want to watch more videos like this one? If yes, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon next to it. We bring the latest news stories on geopolitics, economics, changing world order and current affairs. Things you need to stay informed. Thanks for watching, and until the next video, stay tuned.